Hey there, I'm Ken, this is CRT. Welcome to the third episode in my ongoing series of trying to get the very first Commodore computer that I've ever owned, which is a VIC-20 by the way, running properly. Well, if you haven't seen the previous episodes, then I will give a quick recap here. The first episode, I unboxed the computer, I built a power source for it, and then I plugged it in and tested it out, and it worked, except that the keyboard was a little bit unresponsive. So, in the second episode, which I'll put a link to up here and one down there, I took apart everything to clean it. And I washed the keys, I took apart all of the key stems, and I cleaned every one individually, hoping that that will make the keyboard more responsive. Well, everything has dried, and it's ready to be reassembled. So, in today's video, I'm going to reassemble everything. I'm going to finish cleaning the main circuit board, which is absolutely filthy. And I am going to test out the cartridge port with this game, which I recently picked up. So, let's jump right into it and get started. So the top of this board seems to be pretty dirty. So, let's just give it a little scrubbing with some isopropyl alcohol. Now we'll use some cotton swabs to go over this and clean all the dirt and grime off of here that I've loosened up with the IPA. Oh, look at that. That is dirty. I have taken a ton of grease off of this board. I would have to say that this VIC-20 probably lived its life in a garage or something, because yeah, the grease was just caked on here. So I got most of it out from between all of the pieces here. Hopefully, that all that grease that was caked on there wasn't what was keeping this machine running. I've cleaned the contacts here. The only thing I have left to do is a little contact cleaner into the cartridge port. There we go. Everything has had ample time to dry, so it is time to start putting all of this back together. And now I have all of the stems, except of course the broken one here, back in place, so we can put this back on and start screwing it down. Now that I have all of the screws back in place, I've got to reconnect these two wires. There we go, reconnected. Now I can start putting all of the keys back on here. Now, interestingly enough, I was watching Jan Beta doing some work on a VIC-20, and something he mentioned that I didn't know and I didn't even think of. Right here, it's almost imperceptible, but the spring for the space bar is slightly bigger than all of the rest, so you should keep that separate. Otherwise, like I had to do, you're going to be going through and comparing all the springs to find the one that's just slightly bigger. There we go. All of the keys are back on, minus, of course, the key that I still have not gotten yet. I've got a lookout for it on eBay, but no luck yet. So now it's time to reattach this keyboard to the top of the case. There we go, the VIC-20 is back together. It's looking much, much cleaner. It's still yellowed, could use some possible retro brighting, but this thing is, plastic on this is so brittle, I'm afraid to use any chemical on it, so I'm probably going to wait until the summertime to try doing something that I saw on Retro Recipes where they just retro brighted it in the sun for a couple of days. So there's nothing left to do but plug this in, throw in a cartridge, and try it out. Also, try out the keyboard, see if it's working better. Okay, I have power going to the VIC-20. I have it hooked up to the TV here. And it still works. Now let's test this keyboard. Oh, it is working so much better. Beautiful. Oh, it worked. That is awesome. Okay, well, now that the keyboard is working properly, I guess it is time to test out and see if Cosmic Cruncher will work. So let's insert this into the computer. Now, I don't have a VIC-20 controller, but if I'm not mistaken, this Atari controller should work in here, so let's turn it on. All right, and F1 to start. There we go. I am a Commodore symbol. Eating the dots. Being chased by satellites. And I'm dead. And that Atari joystick is working just great, as is this game. The VIC-20 is working. The keyboard works perfectly after that cleaning. The cartridge port works. The joystick port works. Yeah, I am very happy with that, but there's still a few things that need to be done to that computer. I need to replace that missing key and key stem. I need to figure out something to do with the screw stems on there because the plastic on this thing is extremely brittle. So yeah, got to figure out something there. Plus I got to do some retro brighting on it. But don't want to use any chemical on it, so I'm probably going to try that thing in the sun, but I'm here in Canada and it's the middle of winter, so it's a little tough to find any continuous sun right now. Another thing is the capacitors. I've looked them over, none of them have leaked, none of them are bulging, but just to be safe, I am going to be changing those in the near future. It's interesting just how grimy this computer was on the inside. It was covered in thick grease and grime and everything, so I'm thinking this computer probably originally lived its life in either a kitchen, a very greasy kitchen, or a garage. But it's in my home now and it will be treated very nicely. But I hope you enjoyed watching this video where I got this keyboard working and tested out the cartridge port. If you did, you know what you can do with the liking, the subscribing, and or the commenting below, because anything and everything you do is always greatly appreciated. But I am going to go play some more video games, so I will see you next time.